Claim your business freedom. Here's the 4-step playbook. If you don't know me, I'm Debbie Sardone and the founder of Cleaning Business Fundamental. I also own a residential cleaning business, much like you do. So I know what you're going through because I've been there at every stage. Even though I've built a $4 million a year residential cleaning business and it is now 100% self-running, meaning I'm fully retired and all I do is draw a paycheck and coach one leader on my team. I remember when I had no freedom and not much money and tons of lost holidays and weekends in the early days and the early frustrations of trying to grow a residential cleaning business. And because my business kept demanding more and more of me as I tried to grow it. If you own a residential cleaning business, the fireworks we'll watch this week aren't the only sparks that matter. As a cleaning business owner, our freedom is won or lost by what we do every week, not just on the 4th of July or once a year. Whether you're still mopping the floors yourself or steering a growing team, these 4 disciplines will help buy back your independence faster than any little life hacks ever could. So let's talk about these 4 disciplines or 4 playbooks for more independence and freedom from your residential cleaning business. Number 1, rigorous recurring revenue. Flip every first-time clean customer into a long-term, regular, repeat, recurring client. In fact, every first-time clean you do should be treated as if they could go on to become your next forever client. In the CBF formula that I teach, you should be focused on making sure 85 to 90% of your revenue, if you're a residential cleaning business, comes from regular, repeat, recurring clients, not one times. So many cleaning business owners have this backwards, and too much of your monthly revenue is generated from one-time cleans. You have it backwards. Focus on making sure most of your clients become your next recurring client to the point where 85 to 90% of your revenue comes from those regular repeat clients. Now, what is a regular repeat client? It's someone that uses you either weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly, some people offer that, or monthly, period. Everything else is just occasional, once or twice a year, every 4 or 5 months. Those are just occasional clients. I want most of my revenue coming from regular repeat business. Why is that? Repeat business is way easier to service than first-time cleans. Repeat business is way more profitable than first-time cleans. Think about it. Anything can go wrong with a first-time clean. We're unfamiliar with the house, we're unfamiliar with the client, and we're unfamiliar with their standards, right? So imagine if 90% of your revenue is coming from that regular repeat revenue. Oh, life is so much easier. Your business is so much more predictable, and your revenue is way more predictable. Number 2, bulletproof playbooks. Here's the thing. We have to document every repeatable task from quoting to quality checks so that systems begin to run our business, right? And people run the systems. Vacation suddenly becomes possible. If systems are running your business, you can take the week off for the 4th of July or 2 weeks off of vacation in the summer with your family. If systems are running your business, if everything you do in business comes from the top of your head, comes from your own level of experience, and comes from you being present, making sure it's done right or happening at all. Those aren't systems. Those are just experience that you have. If you ever want freedom from your business, everything has to run on systems instead of run on you. And so bulletproof playbooks where everything has been documented, every repeatable task has been documented so that you can train others to take over certain tasks, delegate things quicker, and ensure they're done right when you're not doing them anymore. So bulletproof playbook. Number 3, value your time. I know this sounds like something everybody agrees with, but it's also something nobody seems to follow. Number 3 is value your time. I would encourage you to track for the next 2 weeks your tasks that you do every single day and how much time you spend on those tasks. And I'm talking track in real time, not just writing down all the things you intend to do or all the things you're supposed to do. I mean, literally, at 7 a.m., I do this. At 7:30 a.m., I start doing this and I finish this up at 7:45. And then at 8 a.m., I do this until 9. And then from 9 to 9:15, I do this. And from 9, what do you do every single day? Track it, meticulously track it. Because what will happen is you will discover how many high level and how many low level tasks you're doing every single day. And to most people's surprise, the business owner who believes, in most cases, we all believe our time is valuable, right? If you believe you should be making a six-figure income by now, even if you're not making it, but you believe as a business owner you should be, then that means you value your time as a six-figure a year owner, 100,000 a year, 150,000 a year, or whatever. And when you track what you do every single day for 2 straight weeks, it's a complete eye opener. You will discover many, many tasks that are on your to-do list, things that have to get done by somebody. And right now it's you. You'll find out that you're doing a lot of $10, $15, $20 an hour tasks. If you have to go out and clean a house, it's probably a $25 an hour task. If you have to go unclog vacuum cleaners and clean them out, that's probably a $15 to $20 an hour task. You can hire somebody to come and do that for you once a week or once a month or whatever the need is. If you're running to the store, running to Walmart, ordering on Amazon, ordering on speed cleaning, and this could literally be a task to somebody who will work for an hour and you're still doing it, that means you are doing $12, $15, $20 an hour tasks. When you make that list and you look at all the things that you do in a single week and in a 2-week period of time, think about how many tasks you do are actually worth $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, and how much time are you spending on those tasks? No wonder our business stays small. We don't value our time. We're over here spending hours every month, hours and hours every month doing $10 an hour tasks, $15 an hour tasks, $20 an hour tasks, even $25 an hour tasks, like cleaning a house or doing a house check, right? When I could be doing $100 an hour tasks, $1,000 an hour tasks instead. But my time is eaten up with these low-level tasks. So when you see it on paper, it's a true eye-opener, and you can determine which task, number one, do you hate doing? You despise it. You dread it, and therefore you never do it or you fall behind. Right. You only do it when it's a crisis, right? So think about the things you hate to do and think about the things that are low-value tasks that you should not be doing. And let's consider who you could hire to delegate those tasks to. Who could you train to go do house checks so you're not wasting hours in a day doing house checks when you could be doing $1,000 an hour work in a day, staying in the office, answering phones, and closing sales? Anything that's valued below $50 an hour, if you believe you should be a six-figure a year income earner, or you already are, should be delegated to somebody else that you have carefully trained based on your bulletproof playbooks, and you've delegated it. If you spent 3 hours cleaning a house and you made $180, right? You saved the job because somebody called in sick and you went and cleaned it. So basically you made about $60 an hour and you cleaned that house. Imagine if you had spent that 3 hours winning sales because you're doing some marketing and the phone is ringing and people are trying to get their house ready for the holiday. Instead, you spent that time closing sales. Let's say you talked to 6 clients and you won 3 of them, right? Out of 6, 50%. And let's say 2 of those 3 went on to move into recurring service. One was a move out clean. The other 2 decided to go weekly or biweekly. In that little 3-hour period of time where you talked to 6 people and you won 3 of them and 2 of them became your next recurring client that you won as a result of staying on the phones instead of going out in the field, you just generated, if you won 2 recurring clients out of it, the average recurring client will spend at least $3,500 a year, some more, some less, depending on what market you're in. Let's just go with 3,500 because that's a good, easy average. If you spent 3 hours on the phone today winning sales and following up on past first-time cleans, and you won 2 recurring clients at $3,500 a year in 3 hours, you just made $7,000 a year. And most clients are with you more than a year, unless your company isn't doing a good job. And I know that's not going to be the case. Most people stay with you for years. So imagine if they stay with you for 3 years, $7,000 a year on those 2 clients. It's $21,000 in a 3-year period of time. You did all that in the 3 hours you spent on the phone instead of the 3 hours you spent out cleaning and getting $180 in the bank. So do you see how valuing your time helps you gain freedom from your business? You're not out there cleaning, you're winning sales and going home early, right? So number 3 is value your time. What is your time worth? And I hope you've decided your time is worth $100 an hour to $1,000 an hour, that your time is not worth $40, $50, $60 an hour as the business owner, because you can hire people to clean for anywhere from $25 and a little more, depending on your market, to do the cleaning. If you want freedom and independence from your business, have a profit first pricing framework. Most people are priced in a way that'll just get people to say yes, right? You're comparing yourself with the lowest cost provider in your market. You're comparing your prices with the cheapest competitors in town. That's a mistake. If you embrace a profit first pricing framework, then you will have profit in your business. And if you don't have profit, you'll never have freedom. Profit is basically money in your pocket, is the only way to gain freedom from your business. Because if you can't pay your bills, you have to work longer and harder and weekends and nights. But if you can do more than pay your bills, if you can make more every year you work this business instead of less, then you are creating a lifetime of freedom from your business. So if you're in the CBF program, an example of a profit first pricing framework is the 55-25-20 metric. That's the core three. Now, obviously, if you're not in CBF, you have a completely different profit model. You just need to know what it is and you need to protect it. For some of you, if you provide vehicles, you're providing cars, you do teams and people are hourly, the owner's profit might be 10% or 8% or 11%. But whatever it is, you must protect your profit and you must have a profit first pricing framework, pricing formula so that you are charging enough to where you've got about 55% to spend on your labor fully loaded. You've got about 25% to spend on your overhead. That's your marketing, your office expenses like rent and utilities and phones, printing, and then about 20% left over for the owner. That's the profit first pricing. I have to charge enough to where I can allocate 55% of what I charge to my cleaners, 25% of what I charge to cover all of my overhead, and 20% of what I charge to pay me, the owner. This is really important. Now, I'm not saying if you are not in CBF, I'm not saying this is going to be your profit core three. Your profit core three could be completely different if you're not in CBF. This is just the CBF profit core three, 55-25-20. You should always be analyzing your numbers. You should know your numbers. You should know what is my labor cost, what is my overhead, and what am I making as the owner, my income and my profit, what goes in my bank, what goes in my pocket. Kind of like Old Glory. I want to charge premium rates and timely rate increases with my legacy clients because we cannot allow their rates to become old and outdated where they're underpaying and now our profits are shrinking, right? So timely rate increases that keep the doors open, keep the lights on, and keep me profitable, right? And high profits keep me out of the field. That means I continue to do marketing, I continue to do recruiting and hiring and training, and I continue to raise my cleaners' pay so they don't quit, and I have good long-term career cleaners. So that profit first pricing really affects everything in your business. It affects how you can pay your cleaners, so whether or not you can retain the good ones. It affects how much you can spend on overhead so that you can do proper amounts of marketing and hire enough administrative staff to help you to where you're not chained to your desk all the time. And of course, protects the owner's profit so that you have a predictable, generous income for yourself. After all, it's why you started this business, not to be a volunteer in the job market. And so those four disciplines or those four principles to gain freedom is number one, rigorous recurring revenue. You have to make sure that you have a constant, steady, predictable flow of recurring revenue instead of this feast or famine revenue based all on one time. Number two, bulletproof playbooks. Document every repeatable task. Makes it so much easier to delegate tasks, to hand them off, to where you gain another level of freedom from the day-to-day tasks in your business, like scheduling and sales and customer service and follow-up calls, and even eventually recruiting and hiring, training, and all the things you would love to delegate over time. Those bulletproof playbooks. And then number three, value your time. I can't stress this enough. What is your time worth? And if you truly believe you are worth 6 figures a year, then why are you doing $20 an hour work? So value your time. And then number four, profit first, guard your profit formula. Because if you don't, as you grow your business, oftentimes you will see the owner's income shrink. As you grow your business, oftentimes cleaning business owners see the owner's profit shrink. We don't want it to go backwards. We want it to be steady and predictable and high. So why these four? Because freedom isn't a feeling, it's a formula, right? Master these four and you earn the right to step back without the whole operation collapsing around you. So, for Independence Day, for July 4th Day action plan, here are some things for you to take action on. Number one, audit your client list. What's your true recurring revenue percentage? Is 50% of your revenue coming from first-time cleans and the other 50% coming from repeat customers? Is it 75-25? Is it 80-20? Is it 90% 10? So audit your client list for recurring revenue, recurring client list. Number two, pick one undocumented process and write the standard operating procedure by Friday. You can do that. Write it by Friday. And if you can't get it done by Friday, plan to write it by Monday. Either way, pick one undocumented process and create a standard operating procedure, or a playbook, as many people call it. Number three, start a 2-week time study. This is painful because you need to be honest. You need to write down everything you do, including goofing off on Facebook every morning between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. I just read all the posts, catch up with my kids, my grandkids, my friends, other people's Instagram. I goof up on TikTok. You need to be 100% honest with yourself. You're not going to show it to me, so don't lie to yourself. So start a 2-week time study. Log everything you touch, and then circle every sub $50 an hour task that you could begin to delegate. And then number three, run a quick margin check. Are you still hitting 20% profit, owner's income and profit, or has that decreased, right? Especially if you are in CBF and you follow the Core 3 model that we teach. Or maybe you have a different model that you follow. You have teams, you have cars, you have hourly pay, whatever, and your overhead is much higher than what we teach. What is your owner's profit, and is it shrinking? Is it improving? Is it staying the same? Are you hitting your owner's income and profit goals? Maybe if you're a franchise, your owner's income profit goal is probably 10 to 11, maybe 12% max. Or if you have the traditional model that most residential cleaning businesses follow, you're lucky if you can, owner's income and profit would be between 10 and 15%. But whatever it is, run a quick margin check so that you know it's not eroding. You know that it's not eroding. Now, my CEO activity log, the tool that I use to make sure that I am delegating all the lowest level tasks possible at least every quarter to every 6 months. I'm analyzing my activities. I'm looking over what extra tasks have I picked up that are really low level tasks that it's time to delegate. Now that I've refined the tasks, I've proven that it's necessary, and I've documented it. So this is the tool that I use, the CEO activity time log. So here's to building a business that you don't need to escape from. I hope you will go onward and upward as cleaning business owners. P.S. Remember, independence is earned daily. Fire up these 4 disciplines and watch your calendar and your life open up wide.